Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome back to Bitcoin Update. And I cannot tell you how much the weather is just so amazing. It's super beautiful outside here, but wow, the more beautiful is outside right there, the more ugly it can actually be on crypto. So let's talk about crypto and let's talk about all the possibilities. Now I'm personally bullish on Bitcoin. I don't have any bearish patterns to talk about unless in the future they don't start to form up. So basically, seems like I'm gonna be the bullish guy in the building from now on, because I see so many FUDs on Twitter, I see so many people scared and this and that, blah blah blah. And the caliber of a coin that Bitcoin really is, I don't think that anybody should be afraid of Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin is here to die just yet. People are stepping in, big companies are stepping in, Samsung is stepping in. I don't know, TikTok is there, the banks are collapsing. Two gates have collapsed so far, Silvergate, the Bank of America has gone down. It's Bitcoin. It's making all the right moves. We hate banks, you hate bank, they hate bank, everybody hates bank. Okay, so speaking of banks and speaking of Bitcoin as well, the patterns, again, it's all about the patterns. We have to talk about the patterns. And I've been into, I've been looking at other people work. It's always a good idea to see what traders are doing. I don't know who they are, but there's so many chart patterns. There's hundred and thousand of different ideas from different traders. Some of them make sense. Some of them doesn't make sense. Now I'm actually going to compress all the details in this one video and tell you what are the best take that I've seen so far outside from other different traders, because I have my own personal opinion and I'm going to tell you my personal opinion about Bitcoin, and I'm going to tell you the opinion about different traders as well. So let's start off with some scenarios, and I probably want to remove a lot of drawings here. Number one, clear up the chart, or maybe, just maybe, even clear up the whole chart. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but remove the drawings. Okay, amazing, simple. That's why I'm using the phone, so that we can learn along the way how to use the phone to our best advantage. Now this is a very clear chart pattern. We got Bitcoin that started the rally back down here, moved to the upside, made a double top, and then came down, and it's at middle of somewhere down here, right? The first thing is to look at the daily time frame. For some reason, someone shared that this is like opinion number one, and they're saying that this is like Bitcoin making this one resistance, which is actually true. Got resistance here, resistance there, and resistance right there. Okay, even I know this is a resistance, and we probably know that because of this ascending broadening wedge, something like that. And do you remember when we talked about this ascending broadening wedge, and I told you that Bitcoin is actually looking to come down to a technical target down here? I gave you the target, right? So the thing is that someone is saying that this can actually be an extended ascending broadening wedge, and you can expect something like this as well. Okay, so this is one way to look at Bitcoin. You got this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, right? So that's a pattern. That's a pattern in its own self. It's not ascending broadening wedge. It's actually called something different. I don't remember the name, but it has something to do with the wedge, and yeah, it's like expanding broadening wedge, or something like that. It's the opposite of a symmetrical triangle. Symmetrical triangles are like this, and this is like the complete opposite, where things are expanding. Yeah, so there's a name to that one. I don't remember the name at the moment. Maybe in the next video I'm going to search. Actually, let's do the search. What is called? Well, as far as my Google search goes, it actually is called a broadening formation, or just simply broadening wedge. So it's not ascending, it's not descending, it's not a right angle or anything. It's just simply broadening wedge. So that's a wedge that is actually broadening, and this is valid because you got one touch here, second touch down there, and a third touch down here. Go one touch here, second touch there, third touch. The trend lines are completely valid, and that's why I'm telling you this, because this is what I find out to be very true. Now some traders are going to look at it like Bitcoin wants to come down to the lowest part of it. Then that means nearly $17,900. That's where Bitcoin is looking to come down, And if you do come down for Bitcoin at that particular price target, then you might be looking at a 34% drop to the downside. That's one way to look at things. This is not my personal opinion at the moment, and I am not actually looking for anything like that. So the next thing is the following, is that we got some, bearish divergence on the 4-hour time frame. This is my own personal analysis, because it's very clear that you're moving to the upside and you're moving to the downside on the RSI. So somewhere down the road, I'm still looking for that oversold level, but on the 4-hour time frame this time. Okay, so the 4-hour time frame have a very clear bearish divergence. I want to see an oversold level down to these levels down here, where we have this previous touch right there. So come down here and make another touch right down there, right? Another way to look at Bitcoin is the following. One can say that, oh, something like this happened, and the second thing you can say is that on the weekly time frame, this is my almost like a personal opinion, and you have the left shoulder, the head here, and the right shoulder, inverted head and shoulders on the weekly time frame. And I'm going to drop in the trend line right there, so you can actually count the wicks, but I'm just going to take the body here. And using the body as your main support line now, we need a retest down at this level, down at that level. Now, considering that if you fail this retest, if you fail the retest, do you remember that broadening wedge we talk about, which is something like this and something like that? If you fail the retest and come below the retest like this, then that's where you might actually end up going down to the lowest part of the broadening wedge, and then bounce back up, maybe something like do something like that, of course. Now, to me personally, if you're going to fail the retest of the inverted and shoulder, right? And by the way, we do have the EMAs right here, and you can see you're breaking out of the EMA. So it actually does look like the 10 EMA is where the retest can actually happen. You do notice the yellow line right here is right next to that support right there. Okay, so that's where I do see Bitcoin coming down to retrace to, and this is for the first time you've crossed the 55 EMA on the weekly time frame ever since forever. Okay, this is for the first time it has happened. The last time it did was a fake out here, so we don't need another fake out, because if I do zoom in right here, you did actually a fake out, made an evening star, and then you crashed to the downside. So we don't want to see something similar to that, and that means that you're crossing the 55, go down for the retest, and close below the EMAs, and then make a very big fake out again, just like you did previously there, and then you're going to continue even lower. Who knows? That's not still a confirmation of going to the downside. Now, this is another way to look at things, right? Two ways of looking at things. One more way of looking at things is on the daily time frame. I know this is like getting too much, and you might even say it's over analysis, but these are the only possible scenarios I see out of 100 other possibilities, the closest one of these ones, right? So you have the Gaussian channel. And the Gaussian channel is, for the first time, like you can see, the Gaussian channel has been read. It's a pipe that has been read for a long time. This is the pipe that has been read. Try to flash green here, got rejected again. Try to flash green, and this is for the first time again you're flashing green. Now the thing is that when you see Gaussian channel flashing green like this, that normally indicates a bottom is in, and the Gaussian channel can actually tell us that that's the end. Maybe that's the bottom of Bitcoin. And from here, I want to see, you can see that where the neckline is, the neckline that I showed you, is also where the highest band of the Gaussian channel actually is. So it could be a good idea that you come down here, backtest here. That's where you have the 10 EMA on the weekly time frame. That's where you have the Gaussian channel on the daily time frame. That's your neckline of the inverted and shoulder. So this is a very, very big level. And that's where I think if you lose that level and don't retest the neckline successfully, that's where you're targeting this broadening wedge support line. Come down here, don't hold this support, fall below the Gaussian channel, get trapped in the Gaussian channel, and go down like this. You lose the 10, you lose the Gaussian, you fail the retest, and that's where you have another next level of support down at 18,000. So these are two levels: 24,000, lose 24,000, close below $24,000. It's still okay to go to 23,500. That's okay. But if you're going to end up coming below them and closing below them, that's where you have like $17,900 coming into play. Now the final thing to talk about is the weekly time frame, and this is my best pick out of everything, because all the information I told you is only this data. But what about we have a proper data, and that is to take this trend line and put it down just like that, and take another trend line here and place it just like that. I see an amazing falling wedge on the RSI. I told you about this wedge as well, and that is down here just like that. This is the best scenario, and this is the reason why I'm bullish now, and that's the falling wedge. So you got how many falling wedges? One on the chart pattern, two on the RSI. This is a much more solid information because you got the most candle, the most data, the most information, the most days. So that makes it a more perfect thing. Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, is on a technical journey to go back up to $69,000. Only and only if you don't do something stupid as going down and go back below the wedge, then that's not something good, of course. But as long as that is not happening, we're looking for $69,000. It's the all-time high. Bring the hit back. That's pretty much what I'm looking for. And if you like the analysis, if you like what I just taught, whatever, I'm teaching all of this stuff. So number one is I have some few days. I need some few people for long-term into my private channel. I need some committed people who can actually, go along side by side with me. So to join that private sector, you just go to YouTube, and you can see on YouTube, you're gonna have, on any of my video, you're gonna have a Discord down right over here. You click on that Discord, you enter into the Discord, and once you're done with entering the Discord, you just go back to Atom Coins here on the announcement tab right there, and click on this video and watch that YouTube video if you want to join. And there are a few days left, like 7 more days left. So I'm hoping to see some people, even if it's one person who wants to actually be there. I'm gonna give you the full guide, what to buy, how much you're gonna hold, and give you the best tip I can give you out of my experience. So that's pretty much it for this update. Gonna see you in the next one. Allah Hafiz.